right, hello. Welcome to ATP Health Hackers Podcast. Today I'm Tina Schneider and I'm going to be getting your host. I am going to be putting Alexis on the spotlight. She is my co-host. And we're going to do it pretty similar to last week, but I'm going to give you a little introduction about Alexis that some of you, some things that you may not know about her.
Oh boy.
Are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
All right. So stay tuned because at the end or during the whole podcast, Alexis will be giving some health hacker tips that get you off your celery juice cleanse and onto some biohacking, maybe peptide injections that are way easier and you're not glued to your blender. So watch us all the way to the end. And are you ready for the grill?
I guess. About to spill some real tea. Here we go.
Okay. So a lot of you, I have a different perspective than the way Alexis was able to interview me last week, is that since I'm her mom, I can tell you some qualities about Alexis starting very, very, very young. In kindergarten to say third grade, Alexis was somewhat of a beast in her class.
I know where this is going.
Towering over all of her friends. She was the big girl in the class. And so therefore, I think she kind of put herself in the background. She was very quiet, didn't say too much, spoke only when spoken to, but listened. She was always a listener. So didn't really understand that until later in life, but she was always listening. Sports. Let's talk about sports. So Alexis had the, benefit of having a stepfather who was a trainer and into major sports, and a father who was an athlete himself, played somewhat professional baseball. So she had a lot of athletic training on both sides, to say the least. Tim used to work with them, that's my husband, her stepdad, in the backyard at a very young age when she played any sport it was. If it was basketball, he was going to teach her how to butt people out. And so she became the girl that every coach loved because number one, listener, number two, natural born leader, and number three, didn't mind fouling out if she had to.
I think I fouled out at every basketball game I've ever played.
Yeah, so starting young, she was the big girl, remember? But then as time went on, her doctor told me, her pediatrician, this girl's going to be about 6 foot. She actually said it for both my daughters. And I was like, wow, so let's pick a sport, where you could be very productive. And she really loved volleyball. So we really invested in volleyball. We went all the way out. We did all the club things. Every club that we joined, Alexis soon became the captain of the team. She picked libero, which was a very, again, throwing herself on the ground, all those things. If you know what libero is, that was Alexis.
Scrappy.
Every coach, scrappy, but the coach loved it because whatever they said, she did. So as you can see, I'm building her resume as like she's very loyal. If you were on her team, she is more than on your team. She will fight for you no matter what it is. And saying that, as she was getting older and going to pick her career, I will tell you this, Alexis loves nice things like purses and the best of trips. We like to fly the best way. And, I said, you're going to have to be very wealthy in the way your lifestyle is that you love. Just one purse of hers that she saved for, and she saved for him, by the way. She didn't buy him on credit. She's a very diligent girl with a nice savings and all that. Everything she does is very structured and very methodical. So even from youth, I saw that she was going to be something that you'd be very fortunate to be a part of.
I thought you were going to mention when I was learning how to write, how I was such a anal perfectionist that if it didn't match, when you copied the letters, if it didn't match, it used to drive my grandparents nuts because then I would erase, and I'd get so upset. And then once there was a hole in that paper, it was all over. So
yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Oh, I could start and talk about everything, and I was trying to pick some things like that.
Yes.
Kind of formed you into who you are today. So early on in junior high school, she decided she wanted to be an attorney. And so we said, to be an attorney, you then had to have the best grade. So Alexis made it a point to be the top of her class. Junior high, let's move to junior high. So I'm kind of bouncing all over the place. And in and you'll see my theme of what I'm trying to do. Junior high, the most elite award you can get at the junior high school for an athlete was Athlete of the Year. And she was told about it, I think, in sixth grade. And so it was her goal by eighth grade to become Athlete of the Year. Now, normally, Athlete of the Year, you have to do 3 sports, and your family has to be absolutely tied in and involved in the church. But again, the coach took a liking to Alexis. She was a team player. Not only that, she did what they had to do to win. And this coach wanted to win. This coach really liked Alexis. And Alexis in eighth grade got the top award for grades and athletic ability and only played 2 sports. You only really mastered the 2 sports.
I
Basketball.
want to say mastered basketball, but
yeah, but you were good. You did your role. Like there were girls that shot better than Alexis, but if they need, if they said, "Hey, we need you to foul out this person," when you foul out, you have to sit out the game. So, but you would do it. You know what I mean?
Sacrifice.
And Tim would come and get the biggest kick out of it because he'd be like, "How many fouls?" And I'd be like, "Oh, she's at 3, right? How many to foul out?
5?
Yeah, 3." And he goes, "Oh, good. I get to see the next 2 or whatever." So she achieved that award, which is huge, and it caused some controversy at the school. So moving forward, going to be an attorney, again, straight A's. We went to Arcadia High School. She did play volleyball there as well, along with her club teams. Again, we picked volleyball because we thought a scholarship to a school. And then by 11th grade, she just said, we had a come to Jesus moment. And she said, look, it doesn't look like I'm going to be 6 foot.
Yeah.
We went through the roster of every D1 college, even traveling, even far. Who was the shortest libero? And there was one girl at UCLA, and that was it. So she kind of
But even that, I think she was already 5'9".
Would you be upset if I decided that after all this we invested in volleyball, which it was a big investment, I would say, but it was worth it because you can't play a club sport without being the best or making the team. And then nowadays, that's how you get noticed, is in a club sport like that.
Yeah, and regardless, those skill sets...
Keep talking, I'm going to close the door.
Okay. Those skill sets kind of teach you life lessons that translate in life, so it kind of wasn't at all a waste. You have to be very, very disciplined. No weekends with friends, eating clean constantly. So
you can tell how I would make your special lunches for the team.
Yes. Meal prepping. My mom made a cooler packed to the rim every weekend with all the best quality products, even in times when we didn't have it. So
yeah,
it was a lot of dedication.
We can talk about that because that again is character building. There were times when I was a single mom and the budget wasn't always there, but for me, the girls were important too, so that they don't find themselves in the same position as I was. Even though you may say that was hard times, but we always had a house, we always had a roof.
Oh yeah.
And I always had a business. So I never considered myself, destitute, but there was tougher times than others, but they never cared about those times because we always made it through. One of the things I wanted to mention too, besides Alexis being the top of her class, best grades, character. So I was one of those moms that if someone needed a ride, people could spend the night at my house and I would take them anywhere. And, my room was right next door to hers. And so there was a girl that spent the night and I already knew she was kind of wild. And she said to Hale, hey, let's get the keys and take your car and we'll go out and then we'll be home before it's time to leave. Now we leave at 3:30 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah, because it was a San Diego
tournament. And this girl, we picked her up. She spent the night at her house. And I heard Allie say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to lie to my mom. And if we want to go, my mom will take us, And
I didn't want to be tired for playing.
Yeah, she really wanted the game was important to her,
Yeah.
So I let that go, and then later I rewarded her for that because that was I was that girl probably that would have done it. I would have been like, all right, let's do it. You know what I mean? I didn't have the dedication that Alexis does towards school, sports, home life, family life, all the way along. So like what I'm trying to do here is build up what you get to see now is a product that started way back, even when she was little, and she told you about her homework experience and things like that. But when she graduated, it was summa cum laude. When she went to college, summa cum laude. Uh, uh, when she joined nursing school, it was, granted it was a COVID nursing program, but she graduated again summa cum laude from school. So smart, dedicated, and I can go on forever, but I know this, we want to move forward and actually have it be an interview. But I wanted to try to give you a background so that when you decide to work with us on biohacking, and we're going to get you all the energy you need and all the different things, she takes it to heart. So wherever she works, I feel blessed that she wants to be my partner, because whoever she does work with, in the future, it's a blessing to have Alexis on your team. Like even getting ready for our business that we're doing, I'm going to give you some background. People are like waiting for us to launch, but she takes every part and does it so methodically that there isn't one mistake to be found. My personality isn't so much that way. I'm like, what do we have to do to get it going? And she's like, no, we're going to do it right. Let's do it like this. Let's do it ABC. My husband keeps coming in. Did you get the TRT? Did you do this? I'm like, we're working on it, so that you get the two different personalities. I'm going to do what it takes, and she's going to take the time to do what needs to be done. So it's two different personalities, two different perspectives, and both work well. But you can make sure that if Alexis is on your team, that everything is done according to exactly what needs to get done. So I do have notes. I do have some questions here.
And like I did not know what these questions.
Yeah, I did not share the questions. I actually wrote out many different ones and kept changing them up because I wanted it to be a little bit snarky, too, because we have a funny personality. Let's see the first question. Okay, so first question for Alexis is, what sparked your love for nursing, biohacking, and what's the most out there health fad that you've seen to the present day that you've tried?
Well, that is quite a journey. My mom did touch base on.
I tried to give some background.
So first all started in college. In high school, I was going to be a vet, so that's why we chose Cal Poly, because they had a pre-vet program. And then I just don't have the heart to deal with animals in that capacity. I knew I mentally wasn't strong enough, so I then quickly changed course because Cal Poly has a lot of really great business. Actually, they have all their little colleges are really great, so it was easy to transition. And the pre-vet program co-aligned with the hospitality program, a lot of transferring of those classes. And so I went to my grandma, who we all had restaurants, and I said, look, I want to open my own family restaurant. She said, great, I'll be there side by side with you, but the only stipulation is you have to work in our restaurant, because up until that point, just as a kid, playing hostess Saturday, Friday night, here and there randomly. So I said deal, and that quickly turned as well. Just restaurant industry isn't kind of what it used to be today. There's a lot of red tape, just not the lifestyle I would have anticipated. And then, as my mom mentioned, the I guess liking the life of luxury. I had a little taste of that. And then in my restaurant hospitality management, I did take a hospitality management law class that I actually really, really loved. So I kind of just quickly pivoted to that, and that was it. I was going to law school. That was decided like halfway through college, and there was no real investigation.
No.
What I saw, I loved. I didn't.
And she's really smart. She has a photographic memory. So
Yes.
law school
So it would have been easy.
was perfect for her. She's not afraid to study.
Yes. But there was no investigating. It was kind of like falling in love with the reward of law school without really being mature enough to know what it was going to take. If I went to law school now, I could probably hands down do it. But back then, this is a very long-winded answer. But anyways, I went to law school. Fast forwarding, I got in very easy. But as soon as I got there, even like welcome week, every instructor, every attorney was like, say goodbye to your family for the next like 5 years. You're not going to have a life. Like, this
Which
is it.
Really kind of sad because honestly, you would have done it if you really wanted to.
I know, but they were weeding through the week.
Yeah.
And I was weak.
At that time, not now.
Well, yes, but like I didn't pass that I didn't pass that test.
The week test, yeah.
I was gladly ready to say deuces, and that is not like me. I'm not a quitter. That was very, 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 very hard pill to swallow, decision to make. And so I kind of was lost in what I was supposed to do. Like I said, everything was so easy up until that point. That's why I think it was such a hard crash. So we kind of was like square one. Let's get back to hospitality management. Sorry, this is like such a long answer.
I wanted you to start with
this is
along the way. That was a big decision, but Alexis does have angels everywhere, and so her auntie Lisa. You could talk about how you.
Well, I was getting there.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So when we're like, okay, let's go back to square one. Let's go to hospitality management.
And the things you love. Talk about the things you love. Like you love art and all that, how you got there.
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to move you.
I know. So I became a concierge at Luxury Mall, Americana by Caruso. And
thank you to Auntie Lisa. Like, how is she?
Yes, I'm getting there.
Okay.
That was a transition because my mom was like, okay, you do like finer things. So as I was there, which my Auntie Lisa, because her best friend ran it, helped me get that job. So it was a perfect transition time to kind of figure out what I wanted. And we decided, we're going to go into being a curator at a museum. Like, just because we saw one show and that looked good. And
we love art.
I do. I love art. I love history.
I can see you totally organizing a museum. Like, it wasn't like you just because you like nice things, you're going to go work there. No. You love art history. Everywhere you travel, we go to every single museum that exists. And granted, you didn't have an experience curating. Yes. I don't think anyone walks in and says, I'm a curator.
I know.
But you also need a master's in.
Yeah, so I was going to go back to school to get my master's in art and history, blah, 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 blah. But one day when I was working as a concierge, this random lady came up to me. I was actually really annoyed, off your shift. And she was like, where are you going? Like, I need to talk to you. I was like, okay, fine. Like, I'll stay after. And she was like, oh, what are you doing here? I told her the whole story. And she was like, oh, I see you having, she was like, oh, God told me to talk to you. That's honestly why I stayed, or else I wouldn't have stayed, if I'm being very honest. And she said, oh, I see you having a future with healing hands. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Everyone still to this day says, oh, you should be a vet. You should be a vet. So I was like, oh, that makes sense. That's a confirmation. So I decided when I got home to do the Myers and Briggs, career path exam. And nursing was the number one. I avoided nursing from the start because I hate science. So I thought it was just going to be this whole career of science, blah, 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 blah. And so that next week we met with one of the
Nicole.
Yeah, but she was in administration at APU Nursing. She also went to my mom's gym. We had a sit down with her, and again, it was such a godsend thing. It was so easy.
Yeah, she was like, Alexis from day one.
Normally, to get into nursing, it's like a 2-year plan. And she was like, wow, you can get in like this next session, all you have to do is just complete a couple science classes, and like it's a denso, like you're in. And so what a whirlwind, but that's kind of where I am at now. And then once I actually was in nursing, it was just like a love, like this is my calling and what I should have actually been doing the entire time. So yeah. Very, very long journey, but I am meant to be where I'm at, I guess, through all that.
Yeah, I can say, yeah, and actually like showing you from her character, from a child, like the caring, nurturing child that if she saw a wounded hummingbird on the ground, yeah. Alexa would nurse it to health or call a specific person and ask, what do we do with this? She's always been a caring person and very dedicated, dedicated in her character and all that. So I can say I feel like it was a good choice. Okay, let's take it to something funny.
I didn't really answer the biohacking or what I've tried, but we kind of touched base on the keto diet. I think that's probably the number one thing of us trying and failing.
Okay, before we dive into Alexis's hacks, here's something funny. Why did the vitamin go to therapy? ? It had too many complex relationships.
Okay.
That's silly.
That was very silly.
Okay, Alexis, let's hit us with some real biohacking magic.
Okay.
All right. Alexis, our ATP Health Hacker crew needs some hacks that don't involve yoga poses or make you look like a confused pretzel. What's your top biohack to boost energy without crashing like a cheap blender?
Well, there are quite a lot of different paths, just depending on, I would say, your commitment to wanting to feel better. Mm-hmm. There is the peptide therapy route, which I think is a really great resource. It's becoming, really hot on the market with the Rogan experience and everyone talking about the recovery blends and the Wolverine or whatever you want to call it. But there are so many beyond just BCP 157 and TB 500. Specifically, I would say NAD plus. It's something that my mom and I do.
Our favorite.
Daily. What's special about NAD plus is it's actually a vitamin derived from, I want to say, bee. I don't remember which bee. So although it's categorized as a peptide, it's really not. And what that makes it special is with peptides, there are some downsides that you need to be kind of cautionary. And usually it's a cyclic cycle, so like 6 to 9 months on, depending on the peptide. But NAD, you don't have to cycle it. You can just basically like 10 weeks on, maybe just like a week little break, and then right back to it.
And real quick, NAD, they also call that like reverse aging. So when you see Hollywood that looks like they haven't aged in 10 years, you can guess they're on NAD plus, mm-hmm. and usually injectable, not
yes, oral or nasal.
But oral or nasal, I'm sorry, it doesn't work as well. Mm-hmm. And the injectables are effective, easy. And I'll speak to one of the things I love about it is obviously she's talked about my energy level, and we've talked about our day plan and all that. 4 hours of sleep, but it is for me the sleep on the NAD plus, and she may not experience the same thing as I do. I'm 63.
It's very, very deep.
It's such deep sleep that you can see why it works, because it actually, when you have that deep sleep, it makes your growth hormone work. When your growth hormone's working, you're reverse aging. Mm-hmm. So leanness. When people say like, wow, you look so lean all the time. Yes, I do work with GLP-1s, and which I love for weight loss. But honestly, we don't have to do those. We're already at the weight we want to be at. But the NAD plus works with your metabolism, works with your sleep. It helps heal the mitochondria. As mitochondria heals, your ATP is better. So it's this huge, it's not just one thing, right?
Yeah. In addition to the sleep, probably what I notice the most, it's not so much energy. before taking NED, I would say probably around like 2-3 p.m.
Yes,
like
definitely.
I am maxed out brain capacity wise. I don't like to do computer work anymore because that's when I start to actually like make mistakes. And as you've listened earlier, I do not like making mistakes. It really throws me. But with the NED, I noticed that I can push myself to and really focus and concentrate through hours of the night and be totally fine. If you have looked at our website, I hope you do, because that was freaking a lot of work.
She did it all herself, and she's not a techie.
No, that like can stay focused. I worked on that from morning to night, and even crying in my bedroom and my mom saying like enough, like on to the next day. But I attribute that solely to the NAD. So that, as I was saying, dedication wise, that's like 5 days on, 2 off with injections. But if you are less dedicated, vitamin therapy is a great path as well. I think glutathione is really underrated, not talked about enough, because that actually like cleanses your liver if there's any toxicity buildup. And really, if your liver is a mess, your whole inner being is a mess. So,
and to stop you again, if your liver is working and functioning correctly, again, weight loss, you don't have that fatty liver, you don't gain weight, you're not as toxic, you're not as bloated. And the skin, like when people talk about liver spots, so when you're doing glutathione and your liver's clean, you don't get those liver spots which look like aging. So it all reverts back to and goes back to people that want to lose weight anyway. Like that's we know my background.
Yeah.
Always want to be lean. So like when everyone says anything, there's not like one fix. You kind of answered my tweak about a sleep tweak or any kind of snack for a sleep tweak. So we'll skip that. But I wanted to ask you one thing. You have a lot of patients that deal with health trends. What myth, because you asked me this question, so I wanted to know what your answer was. What myth are you always debunking, like carbs are the devil? Because a lot of people think that like they can't have a carbohydrate, which I hate that question. But I wanted to know, as a nurse perspective, what's something that you are constantly debunking?
Nothing comes to mind food wise.
It doesn't have to be food.
Okay.
It could be anything.
But
nursing wise too.
The commercials that drive me up a wall, and I actually complain about it every time they come on. My mom could speak to you. I'm sure she's annoyed of me hearing it, but the full body deodorant commercials.
Oh God. That's a good one. I love that you said that.
Yeah. That honestly is disgusting.
Yes.
You should not. I don't know when they say doctors approve it. Like I don't know what gynecologist, women doctor. So I'm going to talk about, because I just heard the other day they friggin' developed a men one. Okay, but let's talk about the women one first, because this is something uncontroversial. Whatever is my POV, it is disgusting. If you smell down there, you should not be smelling down there. Number one. I don't care who says that's normal. It is not. I am not a woman's health doctor, but still I know from my medical background, you should not be smelling down there. One, let's figure out why you smell. Okay. Two, are you cleansing appropriately? Because on TikTok the other day, I came across another woman's page who is an esthetician who does waxing. And she said that the amount of women that she comes across that feces are in your vagina.
Oh, God.
I don't know. Let's go back to the basics. Wiping for women, whatever, bidet. I'm not talking about you people. Like, I'm talking about the normal person that uses toilet paper, wipe, whatever you're wiping with, it is from front to back. So that's number one. I know this
to say this, but
no, this topic like drives. I was honestly appalled about the amount of women that she said there's feces in their vagina because it stinks. So that's number one. If you're smelling, because like let's wipe correctly. Two, if you're smelling for other, like internally, we need to figure that out because, like I said, you should not be smelling. Like when you go, if you have a really bad wound that's infected and smells, we don't spray that wound with perfume. We are treating the wound topically and internally so it heals appropriately. So maybe your gut health is out of whack or something, but let's figure that out.
Okay.
And then, like I said, I just saw a commercial that they created for men deodorant all over your body too. Absolutely not. You need to really check that out. And I'm sorry that was a tangent, but it honestly drives me up a wall. It is disgusting.
Okay.
Period.
For our Instagram family, what's a simple biohack for stress or focus that won't have you chanting affirmations in the mirror?
Stress or focus? Well, peptides are another really great route. There is a cognitive blend, which actually really helps if you have any kind of like neuro damage. It's neuroprotective. There's also a focus and mood blend. So those are really great as well. I would say eating clean, making sure you are exercising accordingly. I could tell the days that we don't walk in the morning, my mood at work is definitely affected. So I think whatever works for you, I think you should definitely something you should pursue, and you need to be consistent on it. I think consistency is the key with everything.
And
it's
everything
not
that you try.
Yeah, it's not like whatever you came across on TikTok, you're gonna try that one time. Like I don't know. I came across this TikTok, even from our very beginning video when we said that we would try it so you don't. This one girl said jumping 50 times in a row every single day.
You want to get your
lymphatic
system. Yes.
So I've been doing that.
Go ahead, jump for them. Want to jump?
No.
Show them what they mean.
I'm not going to shake the camera or the room with jumping. That answer wasn't very good, and it was all over the place, but yeah.
Okay. You've been saving lives and hacking health like a total rock star.
Oh.
What's your funniest epic moment that your nursing career that made you think, this is why I'm here?
I don't really have funny epic moments.
No, but it could be something that really was personal to you.
Okay. I would say not funny, epic, more tragic, emotional.
It could be tragic. I was trying to keep it light.
I know.
It be tragic.
Well, because I think I'm overly empathetic. That's how I know where I'm meant to be, because if a patient is upset, I truly feel what they're feeling. I think that's not good that I take that on sometimes, but in me doing that, I think I can actually really help and troubleshoot the situation. Even just the other day, this lady came in. I work at a physical medicine facility outside of ATP Health, and she came in more so with an anxiety complaint rather than her actual chiro complaint. And even just telling her, so she's been going to the doctor for her like severe, I guess, really crippling anxiety. Even just telling her like the simple, I don't know the counting for the anxiety, the breath work of like when you breathe in a certain count, hold the breath, breathe out. That does actually really work, and it's something that's free to do. And she was shocked that I even told her about the breath work. So things like that, I would say. I don't know if I have any silly moments I can come up with.
All right. Well, it looks like
I'm a serious person.
So. Yeah, our clients are starting to come in now.
This is it.
And you've dropped more wisdom than a protein shake has powder. But please follow us on Instagram at ATP Health Hackers. You can also follow us on YouTube at ATP Health Hackers. We want you to like, subscribe, and comment. One of the comments we had last week was, and this is silly, but they asked, so I'm going to answer, is that your real hair? Yes, this is all real hair.
Oh, I know.
There's no extensions.
Her mane is very nice.
It's more of a problem than curse. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, I have to wear it long because I have such big curly hair.
Whatever.
That was the question that I said I would answer immediately.
I know.
And so I'm answering it. Please.
It's so annoying. She can have her hair like curled and she freaking puts it in a bun. And then when she lets it out the next day, it's like perfectly done. Like she'd blow dry it. If I put my hair in a bun, it has like the ponytail crease. So don't get me started on that too. She's like, so annoying about her hair. No, her hair always looks stunning. That's like the number one compliment. So yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so
it is real.
Again, feel free to send us a question. Next week, we'll probably dive deeper into, we'll get off us a little bit because there's a lot more to Alexis and there's a lot more questions that people had for me. I don't want to get into those questions and answers right now, but we'll dive deep into, maybe we'll pick a peptide. If there's a favorite peptide that you want to know about, we'll start taking the peptides apart one by one.
Yeah.
And whether the segment's 10 minutes or an hour, we'll make sure that we'll answer any questions that you have. Thank you so much for your time. And
side note, like we do NAD, but we actually are just starting Epitolon.
Oh yes, I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, we'll
tell you about that journey.
Yes, on what we feel, notice, changes, all that. And of course, I mean, we've done BCP 157, all of the musculoskeletal ones. We could definitely speak attestation too. But yeah, we'll express our journey on Epitolon. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And we are looking for sponsors. So once we build our subscriber on YouTube and we get on some other platforms, I think we need to get on Spotify, which we will soon do. We will represent you and sponsor you well. Have a wonderful day. God bless.
Thank you. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you, Alexis.
Have a good day.